All right.
In what can be nothing else but clear Oscar bait, we enter the deeply emotional realm of a young woman pushed to lead her people after having been raised by a single father and overcoming a world-threatening event. She must now engage in foreign policy or risk losing the love of her people. This is Trolls World Tour.
And nobody eats anybody. This is the worst Troll 2 ever.
Right?
All right.
Man.
So we're obviously still trying to figure out how to actually talk about movies during this time. So thank you, Wes, for joining us today. Because I really do not want to talk about Trolls 2 by myself, because that'd be really depressing. Uh, all right. So I guess before we get into this one, we should talk about what we thought about the first one. What do you think? Did you like the first one? Were you a fan?
The first one was fun, as far as a nonsense jukebox musical can be.
Mm-hmm.
The animation styles in the first one, the separation, the differences between the initial character, the villains and the trolls, was a much greater contrast. Now everything's a lot more felt in this one, and I don't mean
Yeah.
like feelings. I mean like the fabric felt, um, which I think gave it some cohesiveness. But I enjoyed the first one. It was okay. It
Yeah,
didn't stand out to me, but it didn't upset me either.
I was not having anything with the first one. It's worth noting, I just don't like jukebox musicals in general. So the fact that the first one really it was just all pop music and all music I already did not like, and then amplified by this just kind of obnoxious story, and I just could not stand it, and I was so irritated when I left when I left the theater that day. That being said, I actually didn't mind this one. I thought it was fun. So go
Yeah,
figure.
no. I greatly enjoyed like 98%, and then the very ending actually really made me angry.
Did it
But we'll
really?
get there. It did. It
Are
did.
you talking about like
But
the credit sequence or?
oh no, the credit sequence is pure joy, and if you leave before the actual credits start scrolling, you're missing out on some fascinating experiences. Um,
It's no cats. Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah, you just froze for a moment there.
Okay. Yeah, we're experiencing some difficulties today, guys. So hopefully this won't be like two different clips I have to Frankenstein together. Uh, Anyway, so yeah, I feel like this movie compared to the first one, had just a bit more personality to it and a bit more variety.
Definitely.
Even if all like a lot of it, I honestly like a more ambitious goal, like message it wanted to get across.
Yeah, definitely.
So like that was like, oh okay, there's maybe a brain behind this one. That's kind of nice. Um, but I think you and I both noticed as the movie goes on. For the first movie was really pop heavy and really reliant on the pop genre. This movie just endlessly shits on pop.
It does. Like,
Like
oh my gosh.
from beginning to end, it just shits all over it. It's like, my God, whoever directed this one, I don't know if it's the same director, just fucking hates pop from the first one.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the writer and or director of this one clearly has issues with pop. And I mean, I get it. I played in a few garage bands.
We were
I
both
had
in
a
radio. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. We were both in radio, and yeah, I understand it, but I also have come to like I respect pop for being what pop is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not
Yeah.
about being unique or establishing, new glorious things. It's about entertaining large numbers of people. And that's important. We need that sometimes. Like when we've all been locked in our homes for a month.
Going slightly kooky that we enjoy Trolls too.
Yeah!
I think I'm in Stockholm syndrome by this movie.
It's got some messages to it. So,
yeah, is this movie getting weirdly political?
Right? It did.
Not
it got
in a bad
really
way.
Political.
All of a sudden, it's like the whole plot of the movie is like how there's this rock band nation that decides they want to take all the strains of music from all the other neighboring nations and unite everyone under rock and roll and all that stuff. And then it talks about I guess we're just right next door.
You're freezing up again. Michael? Snake? Snake!
Dun 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 dun. I can't cut around that, so that's gonna be in the video.
Yes. All right. You're still freezing. Poor Michael.
Are you okay?
Kind of.
I heard poor Michael, and that was it. What was that?
That's about all there was. Me sitting here feeling bad for you for the last 8 years.
Oh. Well, now I'm just sad. I'm gonna go to the country. Where they sing depressing Johnny Cash songs and then put their own people in coffins, little holes for their feet. Because sure,
right? That checks out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Poppy's dad from the first movie tells him hey, there used to be strings that connect all these cultures together, and then they couldn't agree on what music to play primarily, so they all separated. And now she's like, well, I'm gonna unite everyone again. So she goes off to do all that, and she visits all these different locales and all these different cultures and all that stuff. And then about halfway through, you kind of realize is this talking about multiculturalism and anti-nationalism? Which, hey, I have no problem spreading that message.
Right? No, it totally runs that route. And we learned that the version of history that we were given and that Poppy was taught has definitely been revised to fit their, viewpoint.
Or what is the phrase they use? It's been glued and pasted back together by the winners.
Yeah, scrapbooks are clipped, glued, and glittered by the winners.
That's it. That's what
oh my god.
Yeah, that's kind of okay, damn, we're going this route. All right, I was not expecting that out of a Troll sequel, but
right?
At least it's more of an identity. I think it's more than I can say for the first one, which was I don't know, eating people is bad.
These are two very important lessons. Lesson 1, say no to cannibalism. Lesson 2.
Hold on. As this movie clearly demonstrates, we need to listen to all sides here. We need to respect their culture, I think,
I'm sorry, I just now I want there to be on the map this small side country that's just full of these, cannibal trolls.
There might be. I don't know. There's a lot off that map.
Somewhere deep in heavy metal country. Got that cannibal corpse land.
Oh god, like Ozzy Osbourne is, and he plays like the old grandpa rock and roller, and there are also bats in there. So I'm wondering if he like maybe he led the cannibalism part of the Rock and Roll Nation for a while. Until like all the bats he ate just like just like tore apart his body.
He'd have to like consume it whole because let's be real, that bat was just all head and a pair of wings.
I believe Ozzy Osbourne can do it.
You know? Yeah.
But like the first sign you realize like, oh my god, this movie hates fucking pop music is like when this the main villain, the Queen of Rock or whatever, sends a little letter out to the pop country that hey, we're gonna come conquer you, so you know that shit's coming. And what's her name? Poppy sends a letter back going like, oh my god, I'm best friends with you. And then the queen gets the letter, and then she's like, "Ugh, pop is such soulless music. The words are empty. The music is repetitive."
And worst of all, it gets stuck in your head. And in one of many brilliant moments of being very self-aware in this movie, she then like sits back and takes a deep breath and goes, "Man, hating things takes a lot of energy."
Yeah. It's like fucking preach.
Right? It's like, oh man.
Oh, so like there was actually a lot of times we genuinely laughed in this, which is more than I can say for the first one, which I was just
Very
not having
true.
any of it.
It
Like
is, yeah, unusually surprising how good the sequel is compared to the first, especially when you consider the normal tendency of sequels compared to their originals.
yeah, like I said, I feel like there's more of a brain on this one. It knew more of what it wanted to be and do. And it wasn't just, hey, how many fucking copyright songs can we cram into this fucking thing?
And that,
There's still a lot of that.
oh yeah,
But
and I feel like that's
as,
just one. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but it's not as in your face as I felt like the first one was.
Sure, I could get that.
I mean, like, it's still, like, cover music, and I still fucking hate that. But, you know, like, all right, whatever. The red style is there, so it's fine.
Yep.
Okay, now what were you going to say?
I was just going to note that pretty much that's where the parallels between the first two Troll movies and the first two Terminator movies ends.
There's still some trippy ass imagery in this one too.
I suppose it's true. We do have a number of individuals who are reshaping their bodies.
Or just actively on drugs. There is like more than one like hallucination drug sequence in this movie.
Absolutely, you got to have that smooth jazz.
Oh, the smooth jazz, or just randomly there's like a meme kitten with faces for paws and shit, and it was like, am I watching Gravity Falls right now? What is this?
Right. Oh, yeah. No, there's some strong Gravity Falls vibe in this movie.
The one line that I did like I legitimately like burst out laughing because like, okay, that was a good joke, is the part where Justin Timberlake's character, I forget his name, like, was that
Branch?
Okay, like turns into like a rock zombie for a little bit. This is going to spoiler territory, by the way. Too late, we've already crossed that bridge. But he turns into like a rock zombie because sure. And then he goes like, yeah, who wants to get tattoos everywhere except their faces in case we still need to get office jobs?
Yes, that was fantastic.
I was like, all right, bravo, well done. And that almost like, you have office jobs?
Right.
So many questions. But yeah, like I don't have a whole lot to say about this movie. I didn't love it. Like I'm not crazy about it. But I did make me laugh more than the first one did. Like, and I liked where I was going with it. And like the covers weren't terrible, so I'll take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, the music was good. A lot of it was great. As I said, like 98% of the movie I really enjoyed. The 2% that annoyed me is at the very end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Like we've learned that Poppy has been told a false form of history,
Mm-hmm.
and that Pop has done this before, where they tried to force everyone to fall under the banner of pop, where they're now pushing for rock, and
Mm-hmm.
it's in that way, history is repeating itself and all, without any self-reflection or possible action of like checking herself, recognizing where she might have been wrong and trying to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
Pop saves the fucking day with a pop song that it makes everyone sing. So the answer to save everyone after destroying the strings that belong to all the different music genres is get everyone to sing a pop song a cappella.
No, 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 no. The moral of the story is that if you want to conquer everything, make it think it's their idea.
Right? Like, up until that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, this has been such an entertaining movie that goes way deeper than I expected, and I'm really having a good time here. And then Poppy steps forward and just starts singing this song, and slowly everyone else joins, and the various colors come back because they're all gone to grayscale. And I'm just sitting there like, did they really explain how Pop tried to get everyone to fall under its thing, and that was the badness, and this is now happening again, and then Pop it's doing it. Like,
Yeah,
so,
like if people knows about the ending now that we're talking about it. So for those wondering what the hell we're talking about, if you haven't seen, you have no intention of seeing it. The end of the movie, like it ends like in this big rock stage, and the Queen of Rock has like all the strings, and she's trying to turn them into rock zombies and yada yada yada, until Poppy like tricks the Queen into thinking that she's one of them, and then she decides that like no, music isn't just one thing; it's many things. And then she smashes the guitar, which breaks all the strings, and all the color fades away. And then she does what you do, and starts singing the song. And the part that made me laugh was the part when she says, "It's like the music is in our hearts. Like Beth can't take that from us." Like, bitch, that was you.
right?
You actually broke the thing.
You broke
Like,
the
oh, this
instrument,
is
you took the music away.
and now you're blaming somebody else.
And of course, with its strangely self-aware and at times very dark notes in this movie, I almost want you. She can't take it away from us, and all of a sudden it cuts to her with a knife. She's like, "Watch me!"
She has one of the sharp sticks from earlier.
Right? Because if anyone says they can't take your heart from you, they just haven't tried hard enough.
I saw the last Rambo movie. I know for a fact you can take somebody's heart with you.
See, I just
Yeah, have you
played
seen that movie,
combat
by the
as a
way?
kid. I have not.
It's really shitty, but it kind of ends in an amazing way. Um,
If you had to watch that again or watch Trolls World Tour again,
Probably Trolls World Tour, honestly, but beyond a shadow of a doubt. But it does end this amazingly terrible way where I just got this tangent, but I gotta tell you, it's hilarious. Where like this whole thing is like Rambo has like a surrogate daughter in this one. The surrogate daughter dies, and he decides to bring all let's call this the Mexicans over to his farm so he can murder them all. And then it ends with this happens.
oh my god! All right,
And then at the end, he like pins like the lead Mexican like against the wall in his barn, and then he's yeah, and then he goes, "You want to know what it feels like to have your heart torn out?" And he grabs a knife and just Cali Mars the motherfucker, and holds
wow,
his still beating heart in his hand,
that's terrible.
and says, "That's what it feels like."
Yeah, that's worse than this was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was only like 5 minutes of the movie too.
oh wow. All
Anyway,
right,
now I got that tangent out of the way. You've missed a lot, my friend. It's been like
I
last
have.
time I did review Hellboy.
Yeah, no, I gotta see more movies with you, man.
I know.
Clearly.
I know. We missed you.
Luckily, I was here to watch this Oscar bait with you.
Oh, of course. I feel like sometimes I get you out, pull you out of retirement is just like the worst schlock.
I just sit down and at the opening credits whisper to myself, "It can't be Legend of Oz. It can't be Legend of Oz."
To this day, that's the only movie like I've been with somebody else where there was nobody else in the theater.
I mean, technically, it was true of us today.
I can argue that it's not the same.
It's true. Next movie, I'll bring a set of bolt cutters. I've worked the projection machines. We can make this happen.
Oh god, that'd be amazing.
I know. I've worked a few film festivals. I know how the equipment works.
It's really such AMC manager is like, guys, you're not using it.
Right?
And let's be honest, we don't know if you're gonna be here when this is all over.
It's just a quality check. We're making sure that it's all still working, calibration and whatnot.
Oh, of course, of course.
Don't you know if you don't turn the movie theater on every couple weeks, it could stall out on you?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's just like your Cadillac.
By the way, do you mind if you raid your liquor cabinets?
By which we mean we've raided your liquor cabinet.
Don't worry, we're still social distancing. We're just like a row apart.
Yeah. We are
Totally
at least
cool, guys.
6 drinks apart at all times.
Just chucking gummy bears at each other for the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, how amazing that'd be to go to like an empty theater with like a marshmallow gun.
That's both amazing, and now everyone who works at a movie theater hates us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could be doing worse things in a movie theater, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Anyway, about the ending, one more thing that bothered me.
Sure.
That I pointed out to you when it happened is, again, the person that lied to her about her history is her dad. It's not really made clear whether or not her dad actually knew the true history or not. You kind of assume he did. But at the very end of the movie, Poppy goes up to her dad, is like, "I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry, like, I went off on my own." And he goes like, "I'm glad you went off on your own because you've seen the world now and you've learned so much during that time." And I'm like, by the way, I also lied about her history. Bye.
Well, then he like shouts like, "I raised Poppy. I get all the credit for how good she is," and then crowd surfs away. I'm like,
fucking boomers, man.
Yeah, whatever lessons this movie was trying to teach, I feel like the last 5 minutes before the last 8 minutes, which is the credits, is undoing rapidly. Like, and I haven't seen an ending fall apart from a story this well since Stephen King.
So you saw the newest It, I take it.
I have not, but I can only assume.
The funny part is they tried to get ahead of it by making like, yeah, Stephen King endings are bad jokes a few times in the movie, and then the ending was still bad.
Oh no!
Because Stephen King makes a cameo and he's talking to like one of the James McAvoy author, and he goes, "I like your books. Endings usually suck though." Something like that. That's and it's like, okay, movie, you don't get a pass for making a self-aware joke if you're still doing the thing.
Right?
You literally just bullied a clown to death.
Oh.
So tell me about the credits, because I noped out.
So the credits is a high. So the first like 3 minutes of the credits is high energy animation as you're cutting between characters, dancing and things. The Cloud, who was a character in the first movie, introduces the second movie and then has no appearance whatsoever until the very end.
Yeah.
In the credits sequence has an entire romantic subplot that ends with them riding on a tandem bicycle with their spouse and 3 offspring.
What?
Like, this develops fast.
Is that why the credits 8 minutes long?
No, as I said, this is like 3 minutes, and then after that into some other things, like because they're also showing all the other characters and putting up the big names that are in it, and that it switches to just rolling credits as you would expect normally in a movie, and that's still like a good 6 minutes long.
Jesus.
So, but yeah. So you get to see all this. The very end, before the regular credits start rolling, we do see the return of the two villains turned friends from the first movie.
Yeah.
Which is what reminded me of how the animation differences were so jarring. Because when the two of them come onto the screen, I'm literally looking at it going, what are they from again? Is this some other DreamWorks IP that I'm, not remember? And then as it cuts to black, I'm like, oh shit, that were people from the first movie.
Like suddenly Sinbad walks on screen.
Right? I mean, that would have been cool. Not the return.
I kind of like that movie.
But yeah, no, I rewatched that recently. It's still very good.
Yeah, I remember liking that one. I was like, oh, okay, Brad Pitt's a pirate. I can live with that.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure, whatever. Flying fucking pirate ship. Sure, I'll go with it. But yeah, I can't think of a whole lot else to talk about. It's not like I'm never gonna watch this again, but I'm not angry I saw it.
Yeah, agreed. Like it's solidly in the middle territory. I think my niece just turned 1, and if she reaches 4, 5, 6 years old and wants to watch something, this is something I'd happily turn on for her to watch.
That's why I'm happy my nephews are the age they are right now, because they're all into like Spider-Man and Star Wars. I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This is my moment.
Nice. Yeah, that's I'm not saying that I'm pushing my nerd culture onto my niece, but my gift to her for her first birthday was a 10-inch wide plush D20.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Plant that seed early.
Right?
Start playing Star Wars and going, whoa, 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 roll for dexterity save.
Right?
You rolled a 1, sweetie. Swack.
Yes.
Gotta toughen you up.
Yep.
Rolls are life and death. You gotta learn that now.
Exactly. No. My little sister's husband is a huge sports fan and great guy, but big sports fan. Had never played D&D or anything like that. And I just introduced him to it in like February before this whole shutdown happened. And like my little sister, who thought it was entertaining but never really played a lot, was really nervous, but he's taken to it like a pro.
Nice.
Like he's one of these guys who does fantasy leagues for like 5 sports.
Oh, perfect.
And so like the moment he realized, he's like, wait a second, there's books of statistical information I can go through to figure out how to make this work. And if there's something I don't like, I can just ask you about making shit up. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, oh, this is going to be good.
At that point, a sports guy realized fantasy football and D&D are basically the same thing.
Pretty much. You have slightly more input on who wins in D&D.
Slightly. Yeah, slightly more. There's still a lot of charts and graphs and loosely connected plot threads. I don't know.
All right, I think we're
at, yeah, that's like it's all we got for this. Yep.
So now we'll get to the trailers. Wait.
There was so that wraps it up for today. At this point, guys, like I want to keep making content, but there's not a whole lot out there right now. So if there's something like you really want to see us do, like even if it's like a Netflix thing, let me know in the comments and I'll probably do it, because not like I'm doing anything else right now. So except telling myself what's that?
I really don't look at the comments, so if you need me to come back, yell at him and he'll talk to me.
Yeah, sounds about right. The only thing I'm doing right now is telling myself to write something and then not doing it. So, all right. So I think that's good. I've stalled this out long enough. Now we're just shooting the shit. So,
Yep.
you got any final thoughts for Trolls World Tour?
Better than I expected it to be.
Same. Considering I was absolutely dreading this.
Right. Oh, and one other thing. In the midst of people getting frustrated at the sudden rise in price of hand sanitizer and all of that other nonsense, making these videos available to rent to watch, like all the other movies on various sites that I won't necessarily name, but charging $20 for the ability to watch it once is nonsense.
I mean, to be fair, you can watch it as many times as you want within a 48-hour period. But I do agree it is an exorbitant amount. It's still an exorbitant amount of money, considering that there's not like theaters getting any of that cash, in the movie theaters.
Yeah, no, it's... Come on, guys. We can do better than this.
I mean, it's also been like the last VOD release. I think it's going to happen until this is all over, too. So
it might be, because they're not doing great.
Yeah, so...
But yeah.
Hopefully that saves AMC. I really don't want AMC to close.
I kind of wonder, though, like, once this is all blown over, are they just going to take all the movies that were supposed to come out and let them out in one weekend?
Oh my god.
And just watch all the theaters panic because they do not have enough screens?
Oh god, that'd be a nightmare. That'd be like my worst nightmare. It's like, guys, everything is out. We have to try.
Here we are.
Off the week.
30 movies, 3 days. Here we go. Witness me.
Turns into Clockwork Orange.
That's about right.
All right. So I think that's all we got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know what kind of content you guys want right now, because I'm open to anything. Even if it's something brand new we've never done before, I don't care. Throw your suggestions in the comments. I'm desperate. It's either that I'm going to rewatch BoJack Horseman for the next 2 days. So give me something to do, please.
Please help him.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.